Good morning. Thank you for being here, and congratulations on your nomination. Mr. Donato, I wanted to ask you about nuclear proliferation specifically. One of the things that President Trump has made very clear is that he expects our NATO allies in Europe to do more for their own self-defense, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. But it's going to take a while for them to step up and create the industrial base to produce weapons, to build their military and the like. In the meantime, we're seeing concerning announcements from everybody from President Zelensky to the new Chancellor of Germany to the President of Poland talking about, well, maybe they need to acquire nuclear weapons in order to defend themselves against the existential threat of Russia. What do you think the right answer is to prevent proliferation? Because, of course, you know and I know it won't stop there. Other countries around the world, if they have concerns about whether the United States will come to their aid, they figure they better do whatever they need to do to survive.
Thank you for the question, Senator. I think the best answer to those concerns that I've seen the press reports is a robust, extended deterrence and American allied assurance policy. During my service in the previous Trump administration, we did exactly that. There's no substitute for diplomacy. If I'm confirmed, that'll be a top priority of mine to reassure allies and partners that the United States will stand shoulder to shoulder with them. I watched Secretary Rubio and Ambassador Whitaker at NATO this past week, giving those extremely strong support to the alliance while calling on them to do more. I would also note in my preparation for this hearing, I noticed last week that the Danish Navy, announced procuring 25 new naval ships and platforms and underwater unmanned systems and those sort of things. That's in 2 months since President Trump's been elected. So what he's doing is working, and I look forward, if confirmed, to doing more.
Yes, I'm encouraged when I see our NATO allies stepping up and doing more, but I'm also worried that when we hear them talk about maybe the new Chancellor of Germany said maybe we have to share our nuclear weapons with Ukraine. Ms. Hooker, the role of soft power, I guess it was actually Ms. Rogers, you were the one who was talking about the importance of soft power. One of the things that I noticed when I traveled with Senator Shaheen and Senator Kaine in Central and South America is obviously China is on the march in South America and Central America. And one of the ways that it was interesting, the contrast between my most recent visit and previous visits is in many instances the heads of state of many of these countries had studied in the United States. So they learned about us, they learned about our values, and they were a friend of the United States. And it seems like over the last recent years, we've had as many as 300,000 Chinese students in the United States, which is a cause for concern, particularly when they're studying things like nuclear physics and the like. But what can we do to encourage more foreign students from key allies and developing nations to come to the United States to learn more about us and for us to learn more about them?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. As I noted in my opening testimony, these foreign exchange programs are really some of our strongest soft power assets, and they're great human capital investments too. I think by this administration's attentiveness to the vetting process for student visas and other visas, we do the utmost to ensure the quality of every single person we let in, which bolsters the quality and the success of these programs. And I think telling the American story, highlighting American excellence, highlighting American innovation, creating a safe, strong, prosperous America will be the city on a hill that others will want to visit and learn from and be part of. And I think we'll see those fruits manifest in our exchange programs and elsewhere.
Ms. Hooker, how would you deal with Mexico?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. Well, the President and the Secretary have begun to do a lot of work on Mexico, obviously, with the upcoming USMCA review and the other work that's being done to secure our borders. Mexico is an incredibly important partner for the United States. If confirmed, I look forward to working with the Secretary to ensure that the diplomacy that needs to be done to secure our southern border is done, and that our trade relationship is balanced and even and made reciprocal. I look forward, if confirmed, to communicating with you on that if you have other issues you'd like for me to look into. But thank you for the question.
Senator Kaine.